Hello everyone, I am Akshat Singh and I have been recently recommended for ND 155 course from 4 SSB Varanasi on 27th of June. This was my second attempt for SSB. In the previous attempt, I was screened out and this time I have made it. And today I will be sharing my personal experience of my SSB and various tips and what I did during my SSB process. So starting with the day one, it was 23rd of June and I reported to Varanasi. And after reporting, we had a breakfast and then we had a OIR test. OIR test was really simple. We had two sets of 50 questions each. And talking about the difficulty level, it was quite easy. And I believe if a person has got a even average enough mind, he will be able to score at least OIR 1 or 2. And you should always have a track of time in your mind so that you don't miss out on the OIR questions. Coming on to the PP and DT. My picture was really simple and it was, according to me and according to my perception, it was an image of an art gallery where three people were discussing. So my story was somewhere around conducting an art gallery exhibition so that they can auction their paintings and raise money for charity. So this was my personal idea, but according to everyone's mind and perception, the story can differ. Then moving on to my DT part, coming on to my narration. I ensured that the way I narrated my story was really enthusiastic and in a confident manner. Because as I recall, in my previous SSB of Gandhinagar, I was not really enthusiastic and my way of delivering my narration was not really confident enough. So I felt that that was a contributing factor to my failure in my previous SSB. So I ensured this time that I present my narration in a really confident manner. Then coming on to the group discussion part. By God's grace, I got a group which was really cooperative and they understood that conducting a fish market is not really feasible for the group, and all of them maintained a mutual respect and conducted a GD in a way it is supposed to be. So all of us got the time to present ourselves, unlike my previous SSB where it was a complete ruckus and fish market. So the common group story came out within 5 to 6 minutes, and fortunately I got the chance to present the common group story, and I presented the group story and they asked us to leave. I was a bit nervous because in my previous SSB I was not asked by the GT officer to stop as he had understood. So this time, after during my narration, he told me that, okay, gentlemen, I have understood the story, now you may leave. So I was a bit nervous that something might have gone wrong, but there was no such thing. Later my friends told me that the thing is that you have not performed bad. Instead, the person has really understood your story before you even explained it. So it was something positive. So this was my experience of PPDT. My personal tip for SSB would be, the PPDT part would be that keep the story really simple, believe on your stimulus. If you are aware of your psyche and it is good and it is not negative and you are a positive and optimistic person, you will easily clear your PPDT part with a good story. Because whenever you see an image, it is your mind that gives you a thought. So I trusted my thought, and if you trust your thought and you have got a good psyche, you don't have to worry about anything. Just believe on your stimulus and create a good story. And talking about narration and group discussion part, be confident and that is all you need. And be clear with your thoughts and the words. Coming on to my psychological test, which was on the same day but in the evening. All of my TAT images were really simple. 11 out of 11 images were really simple and they were quite relatable. The way I wrote the story was really similar to my experiences. I tried to relate it to my experience so that I can present what I am to the psychological assessor. So I ensure that I'm able to convey my thoughts, my emotions, my personality in the form of writing. So For me, the TAT images were really simple because upon self-introspection, I realized that my psych was going in a right way and it was quite positive. So I believed on my stimulus and went on with it. And talking about the last blank slide, it was a story of my personal experience when I was a lead choreographer in my school. So for me, it was a really simple story, and all of those 12 stories went quite smooth, and there was nothing to worry, and nothing was pending. And all of the stories were somewhere around 90 to 100 words. Coming on to the second test, it was VAT. There were some instances where the word was repeated, but since I had practiced enough, so I had not faced any difficulty. And out of the 60 words, I was able to write at least 50 to 52 positive sentences, 5 to 6 neutral sentences, and due to my slow writing speed, I was not able to write 3 sentences in a meaningful manner. So I wrote those 3 sentences, but they were not quite meaningful. So I considered them as a negative marking sentences. My tip for WAT would be that, again, trust your stimulus and go what your heart says and your first thought. Because if you do not do so, you won't be able to complete the sentence within those 15 seconds. So apart from that, please improve your writing speed, because I am sure while assessing my psychological submission, the psychological assessor would have been surely criticizing the way I wrote, because it was really shabby, because lack of time and my slow writing habits, I was not able to write in a really understandable or beautiful manner. So I believe that if you are able to have a good control over writing and writing speed, then you can easily perform in WATs. Coming on to SRTs, my personal experiences with SRTs have not been really good because of lack of time and the way I write. Even after practicing a lot, my heart never tells me to write short SRTs. So I always end up writing 2 to 3 lines of SRTs, which is not really advisable. And hence I was able to write only 32 SRTs out of 60. So in SRT, I think I'm not a really good person to explain what is the right way, but talking about my personal experience, for me and according to my opinion, I feel that in SRTs, quality matters a lot more than the quantity, because I have seen in my personal SSB experience that there were a lot of people who had written more than 50 SRTs, but most of them had got conference out, and out of 17 people who had got recommended in my board, more than 12 people had written 30 to 40 SRTs. So which gives an inference that in SRTs, quality matters over the quantity. So that was all about my SRTs. Coming on to SD, SD is the part where you have to self-assess yourself, talk to your parents if in case you are having any difficulties, talk to your friends, talk to your teachers, and form your paragraphs according to their opinion. So I had talked to my parents, teachers, and friends and asked them for their suggestions, and I wrote my SD, and it is really subjective to each and every person. So I believe if you are able to talk to your parents and your friends, you will easily be able to write your SDs. Talking about how to write SDs, there is only one thing which I feel is the right way, is to just by heart your SDs and write ever what you are able to recall. So that was about SD. Coming on to my GTO experience was really fun, great and enjoyable because of the wonderful group I had. It was a group of 7 people which was really cooperative, and all the tasks were really smooth, including GDs, GPs, PGTs, HGT, and all the group related tasks. And talking about the GDs, our topics were really simple and related to national interests, such as India's aim of 5 trillion economy by 2030. So what was the biggest contributor? And talking about AI, then coming on to my GD, I had performed decently enough, and I ensured that my personality, which was quite dominating, I did not let that come out, and I controlled myself, held myself back, and ensured I gave everyone chance to speak and conduct a balanced GD. Coming on to my GP, sir, I believe that even in GP, the length of writing matters lesser than what you are writing. Even if you are able to convey a decent enough plan in lesser words, it is more feasible than writing a lengthy plan. So I was able to complete my GP within 1.5 pages and within the given allotted time. So it was a decent enough plan. Coming on to the GD of the GP, all of us gave our ideas and it was a really balanced GD. And in the end, 20 to 30% portion of the common group plan was taken from my GP, and other 70% was taken from various other group mates. So in the end, my group mates nominated me to present the common group plan, and it was a smooth plan, and then we finished our GP. After finishing the indoor part, we came out and went on the PGT, where two of my group mates were quite dominating, and also they were really good performers, and they were giving also the ideas. But there were several parts in the second, third and fourth GP where I played a vital role. Instead of going on to the structures, I gave them really useful ideas which ultimately helped us to clear the PGTs in a really smooth manner. And I felt that I had a really great contribution with my ideas, and also not just giving ideas, I also led from the front whenever I got the chance. Even in the third and fourth PGT, I went ahead, and when the G2 asked this one person to come back and give us ideas, so I also went back and also gave my contribution in that manner. And my personal tip for PGT, SGTs and CT would be that please be confident, because if your teammates are able to see your confidence and they trust you, they will always give you a chance to lead from the front. If in case you're not able to convince them with your confidence, you will always face difficulty in performing in PGTs, SGTs and command tasks. Not specifically command tasks, but PGTs and SGTs. In the similar manner, I performed even in my SGT, and we got the obstacle crossed. After that, we had our fifth test, which was the group obstacle race. It was a really fun experience, and we had a lot of josh. We supported each other during the whole course, and we were the first one to arrive to the finish line, although they let us cross the finish line after everyone arrived. So there was no specific winner, but we were the first ones to reach. The point for my GOR would be that be full of josh, support your teammates, and have a good bonding with them, because it is a task which requires a good team spirit and bonding and full of josh. So that was about group obstacle race, and the last task of the second day was the lecturate. There are 4 topics, out of which 2 are mid-level, 1 is high-level, 1 is low-level. So one of the mid-level topics was semiconductor industry, which I was aware of. So I spoke about that. It was a 2-minute 20-second around lecturate, and it was quite informative when I asked from my friends. And it was a really decent enough experience, because after coming from PGT, SGT and GOR, when you are full of mud and sweat, and when you sit inside that GD hall, which is really AC cooled, it is a really quite soothing experience. And after that, when you have to speak, it is a really fun opportunity to speak in front of your friends. My personal tip for lecturate would be that instead of going for a high level topic where you do not have much of content, instead of selecting that, go for a topic which you are aware of. In my group, out of the 3 people who had got recommended, 2 of them, apart from me, 2 of them had spoken on the low level topic, which we generally consider the low level topic, which was exercises and physical fitness. So instead of going for a high level topic, choose a low level topic if you are able to speak on that, and be confident while speaking. On the second GTO day, which was my third day of SSB, we had our command task. In the command task, due to my good performance in PGT and HGT, my GTO grilled me a lot. He changed the color of structures 3 to 4 times. Then he removed a structure, and at the end, he also took the belief from me. So in my opinion, you will get to know if you have performed really well in your PGT or HGT, if you get a really hard or easy task in CT. If you have performed really well in PGT and HGT, GTO will be likely to give you a really difficult task in your command task. And if you have not really performed really well in your PGT and HGT, GTO is most likely to give you an easy task, so that he can assess you even more closely. Then coming on to my individual obstacles, it was a really fun experience again. I completed 8 out of 10 obstacles due to time restrictions, and one was in a will to complete one. There was a wall which was quite high enough, and I was not able to jump over it. And the last obstacle which I could not complete because of time restriction was the Burma Bridge. Apart from that, I completed all the other obstacles. My personal tip for the IO would be that work on your physical fitness, and if you are physically fit enough and full of stamina, you will be able to complete that. After that, we had our FGT. It was just like a half group task. We just finished it within 5 minutes, and that was my third day. We concluded it, and after that we went to play and had fun. On the fourth day, I had my personal interview. This was my favorite part, because in this I got to express myself in a more elaborate and more engaging manner. My personal interview was conducted by a group captain officer. I'm unable to recall his name, but he was really kind enough and did not grill me, and gave me a opportunity to elaborate my answer and express myself in a really lengthy manner. So I thank him for giving me the opportunity. My personal advice for interview is to keep it simple, stay honest, do not complicate it, be yourself, and enjoy the interview. If you're not being yourself, you're trying to be someone else, you will never make it, and you'll be always conference out. Because I've seen myself, one of my group mates who was a really good performer in psych test as well as the GTO test, he later told me that he had lied, and he was really happy that he was able to make fool of the interviewer officer. But sadly, I had to tell him that it is not the IO, personal interviewing officer, that has been fooled, but it was you, that he made you believe that he has been fooled. So please try not to fool the interviewing officer. Each and every lie which you speak will get caught. He'll make you believe that he has been fooled, but instead you are being fooled at that time. So be yourself. Even if you have not done a lot of activities in your life, even if your PIQ is blank and you are able to justify it, you will clear it. For me personally, I had a very big PIQ. It was filled up. Each and every line was filled up. So I got the opportunity to speak a lot and had discussions upon it, and I kept it honest. So I believe it was a really great factor which contributed to my recommendation, that I was honest. So my personal advice is, please be honest. If you have not done something, please mention it that you have not done it. Try not to be over smart or say that I have done it, because you will be caught. So please be yourself. That was the only advice for personal interview, and you will perform really great. After all the performances and the test of those 4 days, the conference arrived. I was quite confident about my recommendation because of my performance. The only factor affecting my mental status about my recommendation was the performance in SRTs. But my friends were there to support me, and they told me that whether if you have performed well in other tasks, you will definitely make it. And they also supported me really well in that way. So in my conference I went in, they asked about my life in RMS and what are the things I learned from RMS. And apart from that, they asked me that what is the quality that would like to improve upon. So I had in mind that I had not performed in my SRTs really well. So I just showcased my presence of mind and I told them that with respect to present this SSB, I would like to say that I would like to improve upon my writing style and my writing speed. Because of that, I was not able to perform in the SRTs. So it was a really short and crisp conference of around 2 to 2.5 minutes. And at last they asked about my personal experience at their mess, the food and the stay as usual. And my conference concluded. And after half an hour, the results were announced. And in the end, chest number 25 was called out. And I was really happy at the moment, but I was not also able to comprehend the feeling which I had. I was happy, but the overall feeling was happy, but at that specific moment, I was not able to feel what is happening. So I really enjoyed the process, and my only advice for conferences, please be mindful of the previous performances which you have given in the 4 days and keep those in mind because they might ask you. And also be aware of our surroundings because after talking to other recommended candidates, I got to know that they had asked a lot of things about their observations. So please observe your performance as well as your surroundings. And please be cooperative with the group because it is your group which will ultimately support you and help you perform in your SSB. So that was my personal experience and my personal tips. Thanks a lot.